Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. Tonight I wanted to bring you guys along as I'm checking out my warm weather seedlings just to see what's sprouted and what hasn't. And so I want to show you the trays. We'll talk about what's come up, maybe why. We'll get varying results among the varieties in the pots here, and kind of what we need to do next. So here we go. Okay, so we planted these about a week ago, last Wednesday. It's Tuesday night. And as you can see, we've got quite a few tomatoes. Looking at the tray as a whole, these 4 pots on the end, a lot more have come up. We got a lot more sprouts than in these 4 pots that are on this end that's exposed or kind of near the entryway here to the lower basement. And so you know, the reason why, of course, is because these 4 on this end are insulated more from the draft from the lower level basement. It's a little warmer temperature, and they're in the middle of these grow lights. It's 4-foot span. It's 3 lights back. They're right in the middle of that, and they have the benefit of partial benefit of this brick wall that's kind of acting as a heat sink to some degree, soaking up the heat that's coming up off this mat and the residual light off the lights. It's just providing a little better climate for these overall. We don't have to do anything just yet because these are the seed leaves, you know, and they're just coming up. You know, they're kind of leggy, which part of that is because I had the tray over top and they were actually pushing against the tray. So now that or the lid of the tray. So now that I've removed that and raised the lights just a little bit, they should straighten out. They'll start to get thicker stems, and then they'll start putting out their true leaves. We don't want to let them get much bigger, otherwise it's going to be a real hassle to separate these out, you know, and pick out what we want to keep and what we want to discard. But again, we've got plenty to choose from on all the varieties. Probably another week, and we're going to want to start transplanting or picking out what we're going to keep. The peppers, a little different story. Some of the varieties are a little more vigorous than others, like the Cayenne and the Red Marconi seem to be the first out of the gate, so to speak. Whereas the other bell peppers and my jalapeno, which that's kind of puzzling. Usually they're a little faster to germinate as well, but maybe they were planted deeper. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. But the bell peppers, they're not coming up as quick. King of the North, you can see some sprouts starting to protrude through the grow mix, as with the sweet pepper too. You can't see them too well, but they're all over here. Don't really see a whole lot coming out of the California Wonder or the jalapeno yet, for whatever reason. And then we've got some more sun gold tomatoes in this little pot. But same story, we're going to let these sprout, grow for a while, and then once they're a few inches high and start thickening up, we'll go ahead and remove them from this pot and pick out which ones we're going to keep. My kale, it's been sprouted for a while, and now it's at a point where I really need to transplant it. It's got true leaves. You know, I've started feeding it the liquid organic fertilizer, the Dr. Earths, just to keep these things going. But the next step on them, these plants will be to transplant them to their own pots and then start hardening them off outside. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. It's a labor of love, though. So, I don't know. I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening.